I try to listen closely to my customers and pay attention to what they tell us in the store. One day at the register, I started to hear a couple customers say, hey, I put my prescription in 2 days ago and it's usually ready the next day, and now they're going to complain that this is inconvenient. The feedback told me that I must have had a problem with my workflow. So as a pharmacist, I went backwards in our workflow. I went will call bin area, pharmacist verification, production, data entry. When I was evaluating, each area was supported by technology. I looked at our will call bin area. We have light up bags to rotate the bag for our cashiers. Our pharmacist verification is fully staffed, overstaffed in my opinion. Our production area is supported by technology with robotic filling devices. So lastly, I went to data entry, which had really no support. Our bottleneck was there. We had hundreds of prescriptions waiting to be processed. At the time, we just switched computer systems, so I just attributed it to a learning curve. So at that time, we just had 2 people dedicated to doing data entry, and they simply just could not keep up with the volume of prescriptions that were coming in.
Prescription workflow and the data entry side. Once you identified that bottleneck, what changed?
Yeah, I knew more people would be the traditional solution, but not the most feasible. As Rich said in his opening, where high volume store and data entry requires talented people. We all know that hiring staff in today's environment is challenging for 2 reasons. Like one, with reimbursement pressure where it's at, we can't simply just add more people to every operational problem we encounter. And secondarily to that, experienced pharmacy technicians are hard to hire. So I started exploring AI bots to support data entry. I talked to many pharmacy owners from different states that are in this room today, Kevin. I did multiple demos with vendors. I went back to those pharmacy owners and said, are you sure it's working? To make that final decision, because I was skeptical. I ended up deploying 3 data entry bots into our workflow to better support my pharmacy staff. The solution gave us the capacity to better serve our customers without the burden of hiring 3 more staff members.
As you explored AI, Tom, and looked at putting that into your workflow, how did you know where to start?
And I think working backwards in the prescription, I was laser focused on just working through that pharmacy workflow, exploring the options carefully, because as many of you here today, you go to the AI conference, it's overwhelming, it's intimidating, but I wasn't trying to use AI for everything. I was laser focused on the task that was slowing down the rest of my workflow, data entry. The decision was grounded in a real workflow problem that was impacting our customers.
And once that change was in place, Tom, what got easier for your workflow, for your team, and even for your patients?
Yeah, it showed up quickly. I remember going into the store on a Monday morning and there were no prescriptions to process. Did our pharmacy system go down last night? Was there an event? Did we lose business? Did something happen? But in reality, all of the prescriptions were in our production queue waiting for our pharmacy technicians to fill. And before the change, many of you guys know, pharmacy technicians come in, they talk about the weekend, they start to get to work. It's 20 minutes, 30 minutes before a prescription gets there. It's 30, 40 minutes before your pharmacist is actually checking a prescription. So after the change, prescriptions moved into productions faster, the team was filling sooner, the pharmacist was verifying sooner, and patients received their prescriptions sooner, which was my problem to solve. I say we hotwired our pharmacy operation to work 24/7. The improvement supported convenience, which is one of the biggest factors that we know in a patient's experience, and along with happier employers, which matters too.
That's amazing. Tom, what about you? If someone's out there listening, knows their prescription, what would you tell them to look at first?
Listen closely to your customers. We don't always get the luxury of knowing why a customer has left our pharmacy. As we know, most times they leave quietly. So if a customer leaves negative feedback, value that. A complaint may point to a real issue in your business, and don't just dismiss that feedback because it's uncomfortable to you or your team. You want to think you're doing the best you could every day, but maybe you could make an improvement that's really going to impact their day-to-day, as Tim pointed out, even as something as simple as the text messages. But the key is to remain objective. Don't get defensive, don't get emotional. Does the complaint point to something you can improve? Yeah, use data and benchmarks, but don't forget to ask the customer directly what they are experiencing. Sometimes, as a pharmacy owner, I overthink our problems, and we could just go directly to the source, our customer.
Scott and Tom, thank you again. Both their examples show how meaningful progress can start with one point of friction. Whether that's a workflow bottleneck, a communication patient gap or a patient comment that makes you look closely at how the business is operating.